Alrighty, today we're going to show you how we got our trolling motor installed. It's pretty much how she come out on this 210 Sea Runner. Got a quick mount plate, quick release plate they call it. We've got a stabilizer in the back here. You guys that are planning on putting this on your boats, I'm trying to show you the whole thing. It's got about 3/8 of an inch clearance, and it's worked out pretty well for us. We had to make sure we got the motor plate mounted completely forward as far as it could go in order to obtain that. It's pretty simple really, because you can just put your plate up there and line looking forward. From the rear looking forward, just line your left bolt up with the left side and your right bolt up as far as you can get that, and then get your angle, and then you're done. As far as where the position is going to go, you can't really use the pattern at all that came with it. At least we couldn't in our application. Maybe we weren't smart enough to do it, but that's how that came out. We're going to tilt this motor up and we'll show you what we've done there. We put some marks on the shaft so that we'd know what level it is. This first mark is the level where we can tilt it up on our trailer. When it's on the trailer, if we want to service it or do something to the motor part, make it a little easier for us. The next mark that we've got in it is from when the boat's in the water, and we tilt it down. That's from the top of the boat down to where the motor's actually touching the water. And then we measured a foot up from there, and that'll be when the motor's a foot down. Next mark, we measured 2 feet up, and that's going to be where it'll be 2 foot of depth. And this last and final mark is a 3 foot of depth. And our boat's got close to a 3 foot draft. So that should get the prop wash going under the boat rather than hitting the boat. So we thought that might be something good. We have no idea. We've never ever had an actual trolling motor. We've never deployed one. We don't know nothing about it other than here we are. It's a lot to get in the frame, so here we go. This is how we got it set up so we can put it up on erect it when it's on the trailer. I want to show you the clearances that we got. Hopefully this will get us in there. I can't see what I'm doing, so. There we go, that's a pretty decent shot, I reckon. About as good as I can get it. Okay, we'll just show you a shot real quick from up here. Also too, I wanted to show that stabilizer.
A little closer, yeah.
We used the Garmin stabilizer from Garmin for this. We had to mount it slightly off center on the side of the hull there to get it to be directly underneath it. In the line up there, you can see it centered on it. And that keeps our motor just in as far as we could get it. She's just barely out there, but it clears our guide tubes when we're coming up on the trailer. And we got the clearance there. There's an adjustment on this stabilizer where you can make it so it doesn't fall, just come whamming down, so you can tension that. It also tensions, actually it doesn't tension the part where it just slides down, I don't believe. It just tensions the rotation of it. So that's about all that does. I didn't have time to go look at everybody else's mounts. There might be a better stabilizer mount out there, but we chose that one. And we offset it. You know, you can tell that it's offset off that ledge. That's to get it underneath the middle of it. So it could be more centered. Some people might think that's kind of shoddy, but for us it worked out. And then of course we got the trolling motor plug. We'll have a little video on that, installing that connector onto it. I'd rather had a trolling motor plug that went down 90 degrees, but there's a controversy on the one that I saw. It's Battery Tender makes one. It's rated at 12 volts, and it's It says it goes up to so many amps, but that's based on 12 volts. When you're playing with 36 amp, you actually need a heavier duty connector. Like instead of 1/4 inch terminals, I think it's supposed to have 5/16. And then there's other sites that are selling that exact same one under a different brand name. And they say it goes up to 80 amps, but it really looks like it's just still got the 1/4 inch studs to mount the wires to. So I'm not sure if that's a applicable thing or not. So we just decided to stay with this one. And this one was installed in our boat. I think the other one, it requires a slot that you have to cut in it rather than a round hole. And I think our round hole's too big. I think we probably got 1.5 inch round hole in there. And I think that slot's like 1 inch tall and by like 2.5 inches wide. So we'd had to modify our boat and put a plate over it, and we just didn't want to get into all that, so we went with this one. I don't really care for this connector at all. I don't like any part of it. I don't like the part where it sticks out. We had to modify it pretty significantly to get that big heavy wire into it. And there's a lot of complaints on it on the internet from guys saying that the screws that attach the tension, the terminal wires ends on, corrode and go bad. But at any rate, it's here and it's here to stay until it fails, and then we'll adapt from there. Okay, today we're doing, hope this light doesn't wash you out. We've been doing a trolling motor installation, and this thing's a pain. Garmin makes you take 2 red wires put together, 2 black wires and put together, and then you got to stuff them into this Marinco plug. Let me find the other part of it. That's not good.
Oh, over there.
I was going to slick it up with dielectric greases. Anyhow, stuffing this thing into this cube isn't too good. The wires can't be more than about 3/8 of an inch out from the sheath. So I'm hoping I cut them here and it's going to work out for me. So if they stick out, they're going to end up sticking out. There's just too much to put 2 together and draw them across. The wires are red, black. So like by the time you string them across there, I don't know if you can see that. Make sure it's not going out of focus.
Yeah.
So it's not much fun.
Yeah, you can see it that way better.
What we're going to do here, I scoured the internet, found nothing on this other than different people putting it on different situations. Here are our big moment and nothing's coming out. There we go. Yeah, this is the super oozer. This thing oozes out.
Dielectric grease.
Yeah, we're gonna have it everywhere before we're done. Some people like this, some people don't. Some people say don't do this. Other people say make sure you do this.
We've always used it and always had good results.
Yeah, we have. We've had very good results with it. We use it on all our vehicles and battery posts, motor homes. We don't have the corrosion thing going on most people got on the top of their battery posts. It's really worked well for us. I never really thought about putting these connectors before. Saw the guy on YouTube doing it.
Well,
Kind of reminded me of it, and I went, yeah, we need to do that. The connector on the boat, we took it apart to make sure it was properly wired. It has none in it whatsoever. And that wire is dangling down in about 3 feet from where you see it in that bulkhead. It has no support to hold it up, so all the weight of the wire is on these 2 pins, which is not good. Might be because it's really hard to put a relief clamp inside that bulkhead. We're gonna take a shot at that and evaluate that if we want to do that or not.
the collar on there,
The collar.
whatever that thing is.
Yeah, this is a crimp. You don't crimp, evidently. I thought you'd crimp it. There's no instructions on these Marinco plugs. There's nothing on their sites as far as how to do it, how far back to strip the wires, which I found kind of stupid. because that would really be a great help when you're trying to wire things. Okay, you guys go get me those little side cutters for me, okay?
The little blue ones.
Yeah, please. Anyway, there's no directions anywhere. You're just kind of on your own, like most things. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Got half the toolbox up here, but
Yeah, no doubt.
and I went shopping, come back and found Band-Aids everywhere.
Got some boo-boos. I had to cut this wire back about 3 times in order to get it to where it would definitely go into the connector, or where I feel it will go into the connector. I've not actually physically tried to get it in there yet. From the best of my experiences with these types of things, I'm just taking my best shot here, hoping it works. The internet, a lot of people don't like these Marinco plugs, and if I had it to do over, well, I'm not doing it over, but
We already bought it.
yeah, that was the plug that was already installed in my boat when I purchased it, so we just went with it. The connector for that I'm installing now was also in the glove box. The fella had planned on putting a trolling motor on it at a later date, so he had all that stuff there, so that's why we're using it. But I really don't like it. There are some, what I'm going to call better units out there, that they kind of come down. You can scroll that and get a shot of that. They come up like this and go into it, and
Like
attach
90,
into a
like a
plug.
90 degree.
Yeah, and that's common sense, particularly on a boat, because this thing's sticking out. It's stupid. I mean, somebody's got to trip on it, fall
Step on it.
step on it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
Think it's a step or something, kids would.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with your polarity here. They got an arrow on the top of this thing. Careful getting so close.
Yeah.
So up here's your arrow, and this is going to be your positive on this side, since you're plugging it in reverse. Since I'm doing this in a video, I'll probably put it in there backwards. So that's what you're supposed to do. You just slide those little collars on there
In there and
and start tightening down the screws. On the internet, the guys in comments and things on some of the videos, they were really complaining about these screws. I don't know if these screws are made out of steel, but they said they got corrosion in them or something. Speaking of corrosion, we just screwed up again.
then. Didn't put your dielectric grease in there?
No, ma'am, I did not. Let's take that back apart. Watch having that so close, because if it's out of focus, I'm going to have a bad video.
Oh, it's working.
I hope that goes back in the hole. I don't know what this thing does, but it gets hinky.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
think next time we just get the tubes again.
Yeah, they were easier to deal with.
Yeah. That dispenser thing's not that great. We thought it looked cool, but didn't
Well,
look
it was also the volume that we got of it, so,
Yeah.
which they should give you an extra volume, because you're dang sure gonna be wasting a lot of it, because you can't control the burn on that thing. Once you squeeze it, it just sits over there, keeps oozing out. So back at it again here. Let's get that going on. I ought to just fill these sockets up, but back to making sure our negatives are negative. I pulled the connector out of the bulkhead of the boat to make sure that it was there. I did not install that.
right,
I wanna
because it
make
was
sure
there
it was-
already, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure it was right.
Yeah,
Some
when we got
people-
this boat, it only had 17 hours on it, so he didn't have time to get what he wanted on it. We made one trip down the river. Is it tightening?
Yeah, it seems to be.
And that one guy in that one video said, yank on it, make sure it don't come out.
Yes, good pointer. Okay, now here's the fun part. That little guy, where it goes.
You about need to feed them in there at the same time, huh?
Yeah, it would have been easier. It's a lot to bend though. There's some big hinky wires, boy. Oh, that's wrong. Watch if you try to going into the right plug.
Screw's not part way in or nothing, is it?
I don't believe it is. It's just such a bunch of stuff
There
to
it
get
goes.
in at one time. It's a lot to manipulate this big heavy wire, particularly since you're doing 4 big heavy wires.
Mm-hmm.
Pause off here. There we go. Trying to do this so you can see, but
Just a little Allen wrench. Wrench it down.
yeah, I don't know what happened to these little Allen wrenches. People on the net sure didn't like them. There were 3 or 4 people that really went off about them. There was a guy advertising 3 different connectors. 2 of them. One was this one. This was the
Least favorite of them?
yeah, definitely the least favorite. I didn't really think much of the second one, and the third one was really cool. It was very nice. It was set up properly. It had big brass and great connectors on it. So nobody shows the battle. Probably because people don't have the patience to watch the battle, but they're going to be doing the battle. So I was really concerned about this. After watching a couple of videos, and people say they're going to show that, and then they never show that, and they say, well, I didn't get time to do that. It's probably because there was so much profanity involved in the conversation, they couldn't put it on there for real. Okay, so we're going to double check ourselves. We've got our negative here, our positive here, our connector. We've got our negative, and our positive is the bottom right one. So that should be it.
If you pull on it, it doesn't come out, right?
Theoretically. It's hard to do that because you're actually pulling on, 2 sets of wires. So the one doesn't let the other one come out. All you can do is just torque them down to the best you think you can get them. I always like to torque them down and then wait a minute or so and then check them again. Because a lot of times
lug nuts.
yeah, it's not really a torque thing, but sometimes things settle. Let's check all your screws. I have no idea why they put a 3rd lug in this. There must be some
things that use it.
things that use it, but I've not ever seen one. Minn Kota just uses 2 regular wires. Garmin uses 4 in this end of it. They don't use 4 going to the batteries. So
Might
the connector.
depend if it's 24, 36, or 48 volts or something, maybe.
That's a possibility.
Maybe a 48 volt would have another.
I got no idea.
Oh.
But anyway, it's this connector here, by the way, has no fit. It just rotates around.
Maybe you match the arrow to the arrow.
That's what you got to do. That's my guess on the whole thing. You know the negative is up, and you know that arrow's up, and you got an arrow here, and that's all you get because it'll actually rotate in its own thing here. And I'm going to put a little dielectric grease on this thing here. Not really using it as dielectric grease. I'm using it as kind of a silicone lubricant at this point because I don't have my silicone lubricant up here because my wife's too lazy to go and get it. So we're just going to put some of that on there. That'll do just about an adequate job. So here's where we find out if what we did works.
screws, 3 screws.
Yep, got 3 screws that goes in it. On this end.
No power screwdriver?
Looks like I did good. I'm not having to force it in there.
He hates manual screwdrivers.
Yes, I did. I'd walk a mile and a half to go get a screw gun. But you just can't do that on stuff like this.
Yeah,
This is an aircraft. You don't touch an electric gun.
yeah.
They got a habit of jumping off and dancing around, doing all kinds of crazy things.
Looks
Looks
good.
like that's a wrap. Let's put our other 2 connectors on here and we're going to be good to go.
The collar thing.
Yeah. This is what locks on your cable, so they primarily make this for people that like to yank on cables. And there's a lot of them out there. See, this isn't a fits-all connector. This is just a grab it and bite it guy. I'm for sure that shouldn't be ground out, so. Do not like Marinco connectors. Marinco. Not impressed at all. Maybe they're for definitely a lesser quality of an item. See, that won't even compress on long enough to get to the screws, so I'm gonna have to get creative with this and notch out the center of them a little bit to make room for this big wire. So. Okay, we had to get hinky here and ream this collar out to a bigger hole so that it would accept the big wire. Hopefully that's going to do it for us. And we're fixing to find out. These connectors wore out before we get them on. Before we get them installed. R&D here.
And that's gonna go around here.
Yeah. One little slip. Oh, it's got little tracks that goes in.
And 2 screws. Whoops.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. Where'd that one go?
I don't think we want to
I
know.
think it went down in the hole.
In the hatch.
Oh,
Right on
I
the
think
edge
I
right
see it. You should be able to get it.
there. Yeah. Give me a magnet.
Okay.
This
Magnet.
might be magnetic. Or it
Might-
shouldn't be magnetic
No.
at all. Yeah.
Let's find a
Hold
magnet.
on. I'm not getting the magnet.
You get the magnet?
Yeah, they're probably non-metallic screws.
Oh,
I'll just get her opened up here.
okay. Open the hatch. Okay.
Alrighty then.
You gotta be careful. You drop stuff in a boat, it can go anywhere.
Yeah, I talked to a guy on the internet and he was putting his trolling motor on. He was securing his mounts up there and dropped the wrench down in there.
Went down in the bow of his boat, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what he said.
You can't get
I
to
don't
it.
know, or there's a small corner piece down in the bottom of this Hewescraft.
Where it's wide open.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 inches and it goes down to the main hull. So I don't know if that's recoverable or not. Might find it in the back of the boat someday.
Yeah. We stuck a towel or something over it to make sure we didn't drop something down it when we put ours together.
Yeah. We're hoping.
We're hoping. You dropped a washer, thought it was gone, but it wasn't.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Yep.
Saved by the towel.
Saved by the towel.
What's that?
Okay, we have a
Just got
plug.
back in.
We have a finished
Here, what needs
plug.
what was that?
Put that
More
back.
swearing. More bad words.
More bad words.
Yeah. We'll let you go at that point.
Alrighty. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that's it for our trolling motor installation. We'll also add right to the Final part of this, I'm going to show you the down here in this locker. We'll look at an up view at it, how we actually mounted it through the plates, what reinforcement plates are down there. We didn't end up putting a backer plate below it at all because it already has one that hits on 3 of the 4 bolts. But we managed to come up with a little megapulator mechanism to get that 4th one to bite onto that brace. So hopefully that'll work out for us, and hopefully that'll be the end of it. That was the only bolt we had an issue with right there. We had to get creative and make a block of aluminum. We used 4 pieces 1/4 inch, actually 5. Had to mill one of them down to make that block. It was basically 1 inch. We had to drop it down. And a U-bracket just holds the 5 pieces together, and we bonded those with urethane glue. And then we run the boat, and life's good. She is done. We're final mounted and ready to go. Just going to show you that hole down the bottom of the boat. Make sure you fill that with some towels or something, because that's a wrench getter or a nut getter or whatever. It goes straight down into the bow, into the abyss. Let me pull those out of there and I'll show you. That's the hole right there. That's the nut. So if you drop something, and of course if you drop it on this plate up here, you can fish it out through the lower compartments. But if you drop it down that hole, that bad boy's in there for good. I don't think it's coming back. So just so you know. Going on this lock, there's a lock that you can get on here, but it's pretty cool. The one Don and I would like to get, it mounts right horizontal, so it wouldn't be hitting our paint. It does it with a key. There's another one made by Sea Swivel that's got like they put on mag wheels on cars. It's kind of a miniature version of that. You have to change this pin out, and then adapters on there, but that'd be really close tolerances to that. And you'd have to carry that adapter lug with you all the time. And I'm afraid I'd lose that, whereas as a key, I don't think I'll be as apt to lose it. But the key can corrode, and the locking mechanism on the little tumblers inside the key mechanism can get it. So saltwater guys would probably have a heck of a time with that. So I don't know how that'd play out. I haven't owned one. The guys that are doing it, they're the ones that consult on that. So that's where we're at for right now. And we'll wrap this up, and we're going to roll on from this. We're going to show you our battery installation. We had to modify the boat to take the battery that we purchased. So we'll be showing all that in the future. And then we'll also, after the battery installations, we're going to show you a on the water review of this thing, or show you how it works. And we're probably going to save an actual review of it until we've used it a few times and we kind of got some idea of what we're talking about. So hopefully that'll do it for now. See you, bye.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to show you how it stows. You got to push the lever down, bring it in. I like to put it on the stabilizer before I ram it in there toward the cabin. And then you got to make sure it's locked. Makes a big click. Lock it, and it's done. That's pretty much all there is to it. Same thing goes with deploying it. You unlock it, you have to reach up and step on that pedal. You have to pull it back a little bit, jerk it down, and deploy it. Bring it down to the lock. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Of course, when the thing's on, it automatically turns to and holds its position there so you can bring it in. I like to put the stanchion on there to make sure it's up high enough so it doesn't ram that cabin, because you really got to shoot it forward when you do that. And of course, you got to remember to lock it. And that's pretty much it for that. Okay, we're going to show you how this thing comes on and off. Slide that out. And I got to tip this up like this and rotate it. She's going to hold on that other end.
I have to release this first, right?
Yep, you got to release that stabilizer.
Release that. Okay.
Okay. And we're not actually going to take it completely off the boat. We're just showing you how it disconnects. So that's pretty much it. Goes down, comes off, and you have to carry it down to the ground. Bring it back in there.
Just roll it back on.
Pick your end up. There we go.
There we go.
Go ahead and put it
Get
on
my
the
sink.
stove.
There we go.
And then you slap this back belly back in it. And that's it. She's mounted. You got that
Yep.
in locked?
Yep.
So it's pretty easy on and pretty off. Or easy off. Easy on and easy off, excuse me. So, well, that's about all there is to it, folks. So.